Near Baker, Jim Acosta in Cedar Key, Florida. Jim?
Bob, a hurricane warning has been posted and mandatory evacuation orders are up across much of the Florida Gulf Coast as everyone is keeping their eye on this fast approaching storm. Hurricane-weary Floridians would like to have dismissed Alberto as just another tropical storm, but tonight it's exceeding expectations. Its winds jumped from 50 to 70 miles per hour in just 3 hours this morning to near hurricane strength. That was all Florida officials needed to see to issue a mandatory evacuation order across 100 miles of the state's Gulf Coast.
If you're ordered to evacuate, you really should do it. Don't think that you can ride out a storm. It's not worth losing one's life.
The first named storm of the season is projected to make landfall tomorrow afternoon, somewhere near Cedar Key, a tiny island village that's prone to flooding.
We try and prepare as best we can, but, you know, we're just not ready for it.
With the area expecting 10 inches of rain and a storm surge up to 10 feet, city officials are closing their doors and warning residents they may not have help if things get bad.
You need to leave. We're going to leave eventually. And at a certain point in time, the fire department will not be on the island, nor will the police department.
A heavy downpour in Tampa may have caused the downing of this small plane that crashed into a home and killed at least one person. If there's any good news about this storm, it has provided some much-needed relief to drought-stricken parts of Florida, where wildfires have raged for weeks. But back in Cedar Key, relief will come when residents get off this island safely. And after Alberto makes landfall, it is expected to cut across Florida and then make its way into Georgia and the Carolinas over the coming days. Bob?
Thank you very much, Jim. We'll be checking with you. We want to turn now to our CBS News hurricane expert meteorologist Brian Norcross of CBS 4 in Miami. Brian, is this going to be a hurricane when it hits land?
If it is a hurricane, Bob, it's going to be at the lowest end of the hurricane scale. I would say it's unlikely to intensify. It looks like it's going through a little weakening phase, but there's a slight chance overnight.
What's going to be the danger to this one?
The biggest danger, Bob, is going to be on the north Gulf Coast of Florida, the water from the Gulf being pushed ashore. As the circulation here pushes in toward the Gulf Coast, it just piles water in here on this northern Gulf Coast. And this, because of the way the sea bottom is there in the Gulf, is the most vulnerable spot in the United States to having high water come ashore, because there's a very shallow shelf there. So that water could pile up 10 or 12 feet when the storm comes ashore early tomorrow.
Is this all starting a little early this year? It seems early to me.
It's not unheard of to have a storm this early. This is the kind of storm we get in June. When we get them, you get one every 2 or 3 years on average.
And do you think we're going to be in for another year like we had last year?
No, I don't think so. That seemed to be an anomaly, but we do expect it to be a busy hurricane season.
All right. Thank you very much, Brian. And now to Iraq. The terrorists named a new leader to replace Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, who was killed by American bombs last week. He is unknown to the West, but the terrorists say he will continue al-Zarqawi's policy of bombing and beheadings. And this was another bad day in Iraq. Bombs killed more than 50 Iraqis as attacks continued into the night. We go now to Elizabeth Palmer in Baghdad for more on that.
Baghdad had been anxiously waiting for Zarqawi's followers to strike, and tonight the capital was shaken by a series of bombings aimed at civilians. This one, near a popular marketplace in the Shiite neighborhood of Sadr City, was caused by explosives in a parked car, a new trend for terrorists here. But the killing of the most wanted terrorist in Iraq last Thursday, Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, has meant a wartime windfall for the coalition forces. In the past 48 hours, the U.S. military announced it's carried out 140 major operations, killed 32 insurgents, and detained 178, including one described as a high-value target with a $50,000 price tag on his head. But today, a U.S. raid on a house near where Zarqawi died was both a military victory and a human tragedy. American forces killed 7 more men they called terrorists linked to al-Qaeda, but 2 children also died in the attack, and another one was injured.
They mixed themselves in with innocent young women and children and civilians. They, in fact, are asking for that possibility to occur.
Facing rumors that U.S. soldiers had beaten Zarqawi to death, The military went to great lengths to detail the autopsy results. According to forensic pathologists, Zarqawi was inside the house when the bombs hit last Wednesday. Blast waves from the explosions tore and bruised his lungs, which filled with blood, although he lived on for 52 minutes.
The injuries to his lungs were not survivable. That's what killed him.
Just hours later, Zarqawi's organization had an announcement of its own. A message appeared on an Islamist website naming Zarqawi's successor, Abu Hamza al-Muhajir, described in the message only as a beloved brother with holy war experience and a strong footing in knowledge. That name is almost certainly an alias, and nothing else seems to be known about him, including whether he's an Iraqi or another foreign fighter like Zarqawi was. Bob?
Elizabeth, I want to go back to these bombings. You're talking about in Baghdad, now, not out in the field, right?
Yes, I am, in very crowded neighborhoods. It's a departure to have bombing at night. For 2 years, most of the bombs have been in the morning. And if it's a new trend, then it's going to be a great blow in this country where temperatures rise to 100 degrees in the daytime and people want to go out in the evening to take the air and maybe do some errands. So everybody's very anxious to see what the rest of the week brings.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Eliminating Zarqawi may have been a significant military achievement, but it did not seem to help the president from the standpoint of domestic politics. In a CBS News poll out tonight, only 33% of those polled said that they approve of the job the president is doing. That is about the same as last month. It was much different when Saddam Hussein was captured and the president got a 6-point bounce in the polls. The president gathered his top advisors at Camp David today for a war council on where we go from here in Iraq. Our White House correspondent Jim Axelrod has that story now.
President Bush did not refer to Zarqawi's successor by name during day one of his Iraq summit, but he predicted a similar end for the new al-Qaeda chief in Iraq.
I think the successor to Zarqawi is going to be on our list to bring to justice.
Still, the main point of gathering his key national security advisors here, as well as his ambassador in Baghdad by video, was to decide the best way to help Iraq's new Prime Minister Maliki succeed.
The success in Iraq will depend upon the capacity of the new government to provide for its people. We recognize that.
The administration says a new government creates a crucial opportunity for the Iraqis. But with the number of military dead now approaching 2,500, the injured 18,000, and the cost at more than $300 billion and rising, the administration may be approaching a make-or-break point with the American people. And that may explain the president's call for more countries to share the financial burden.
Iraq's neighbors ought to do more to help them. And we're constantly working with our friends in the neighborhood to encourage them to support this new democracy.
The call for more help from the neighbors fits with a shift in tone about the U.S. role. Prime Minister Maliki is now setting the agenda, and the U.S. job is to help the Maliki government implement that agenda. Bob?
Okay, Jim. There was more fallout today from the weekend suicides of 3 terrorist suspects held on the U.S. naval base at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. U.S. military officials announced they will review the rules for handling and monitoring detainees at the prison camp. This will be an internal review separate from the Navy's criminal investigation. Most of the 17 men arrested in an alleged terror plot in Canada were in court there today for a bail hearing. No one was granted bail, but CBS News chief investigative correspondent Armin Katayan has some new details tonight about what the suspects allegedly were planning, and he shows you tonight where they were trained.
It was here in these remote wooded grounds north of Toronto where prosecutors say terrorist talk turned to action. According to the government's charges reviewed by CBS News, 13 of the 17 suspects now in custody were here, just a few hours from the U.S. border, attending a terrorist training camp just before last Christmas. Wearing camouflage clothing, they allegedly engaged in marches and survival training, took turns on guard duty, and practiced firing a 9mm semi-automatic pistol and pellet gun. What the group didn't know is they were being watched by authorities the whole time. Jason Rose's family lives near the camp property. His father discovered an undercover cop parked in their driveway.
He wouldn't elaborate on any of his investigation. He just said he was doing some surveillance work.
Surveillance that allegedly captured the group watching jihadist videos and taping their own training. In the small town of Washego, Ontario, where the campgrounds lie, realtors told us group leaders were shopping to buy land as recently as April. Prosecutors say they planned more training, more recruiting, and a safe house. The plot allegedly developed under the direction of 21-year-old Fahim Ahmad and 20-year-old Zakaria Mara, friends from this high school who quarreled this spring over the direction the plot should take. Ahmad pushing the hostage-taking attack on the Canadian Parliament. Amara preferring truck bombings on the Toronto Stock Exchange and Canada's Security Service, pretending to be student farmers to acquire tons of explosive ammonium nitrate fertilizer. Prosecutors say Amara possessed American-made remote control switch components, like the ones in this common garage door opener, to set off the bombs, possibly by cell phone, a common tactic used by insurgents in Iraq. One defense attorney calls the government's case sketchy.
If the objective was to create a terror in the populace, the government has created the terror and fear in the populace.
But Canadian law enforcement says it has the proof.
There'll be rhetoric on all sides, I'm sure, but we'll just have to let the evidence come out and then let the courts do their job.
Canadian prosecutors say the group called their alleged plot Operation Badr, a reference possibly to the medieval Battle of Badr, one of the most important battlefield victories in Islamic history. Armin Katayan, CBS News, New York.
And coming up next on the CBS Evening News, why police around the country are looking to this little-known city for a lesson in fighting crime.
If you use those over-the-counter drops several times a day, you may have chronic dry eye due to decreased tear production without knowing it, like me. And my doctor prescribed Restasis.
With continued use, Restasis helps increase your natural ability to produce tears, which may be reduced by inflammation due to chronic dry eye. It should not be used by patients with active eye infections and has not been studied in patients with a history of herpes viral infections of the eye. The most common side effect is a burning sensation.
More of my own tears. Thanks, Restasis.
Stu, how does new Tidy Cats litter work?
Well, each granule is formulated to absorb quickly and lock in odor better than ever.
So can I invite some friends?
Yes.
New Tidy Cats. Multiple strengths for multiple cats.
At CVS Pharmacy, we accept all the new Medicare prescription plans, including the AARP Medicare RX plan and Humana, with the same low prices as other pharmacies. But we think prescriptions involve more than dollars and cents, such as individual attention and expertise delivered with care. So come join us. Simply bring in your prescription bottles and we'll do the rest. Right now, show your Medicare prescription card and get a welcome kit filled with $60 in coupon savings to spend over the summer. CVS Pharmacy. Expect something extra.
V8 presents V-Fusion. If you think getting a full serving of fruits and a full serving of vegetables into a single juice is amazing, wait until you taste it. New V8 V-Fusion Juice. Don't just live, thrive.
I'm a curious kind of guy. I want to know how things work, what makes them tick. So I was glad when my doctor prescribed Nexium for my acid reflux disease. I got the purple pill and signed up for Purple Plus, a great program from Nexium. I'm learning what I need to know to manage my acid reflux disease. With the Purple Plus program, I get useful advice, great tasting recipes, even ways to save on my prescription. My doctor said prescription Nexium can relieve my heartburn and heal the erosions in my esophagus that acid reflux caused. So I don't just feel better, I am better. He also said I could still have other serious stomach conditions and that headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain could be side effects of Nexium.
Ask your doctor if switching to Nexium is right for you. To learn more about Nexium and Purple Plus, call or visit our website.
Mints can trigger heartburn.
If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
There is some disturbing news tonight about crime. The FBI says that violent crime in this country was up 2.5% last year. While that is not a huge increase, it is the first increase since 2001. Murder led the way. There were nearly 17,000 murders last year, an increase of close to 5%. By far, the biggest increase in murders, up more than 12%, was in mid-sized cities, cities with populations under 250,000. That would include places like High Point, North Carolina, known as the furniture capital of the world, home to about 100,000 people. But that city is bucking the trend. Crime there is actually going down. Here is our national correspondent, Byron Pitts.
There was constant open-air drug dealing there.
High Point, North Carolina was once so violent, police wouldn't get out of their patrol cars in some neighborhoods. But not now.
They here to protect us, you know. We let them know what's going on. They let us know what's going on.
What's going on here is a model for cities from Chicago to Tucson. First famous for its furniture, High Point is becoming famous for reducing violent crime by shutting down drug dealers.
Take your hats off, please. Out of respect, please.
Here's the heart of it. Suspected drug dealers are called into police headquarters. First, they're verbally strip searched.
It's done now.
Then given one last chance. Community leaders like Reverend Quentin Boger provide the carrot.
We have partnered with the police department to say enough is enough.
Police show the stick.
We've studied you. We've been paying people to watch you. We're very familiar with everything that you do.
Does everybody understand that dope dealing in Southside is over now?
It's all the brainchild of criminologist David Kennedy.
Forgive me, but on some levels, this sounds like tree hugging for criminals.
It's not hug a thug. This is just common sense. You look people in the eye, you say, there's right, there's wrong, there are consequences if you do wrong.
So often it seems like every 3 years I sit across from someone like you who says, this is the solution. Why should people believe this is it?
This was really built up in very, very pragmatic ways on the basis of what is actually motivating people. And if the results are as real as they appear to be, then they're going to speak for themselves.
In the 2 years of the program, the violent crime rate on the rise in other parts of the country has dropped 20% in High Point.
You need to be concerned about your families, because when you go to jail, your families are still left back here.
Revolving doors closed, guys. You test us, you lose.
Law enforcement.
We can't help him get a job.
And the law-abiding, speaking with one voice. Byron Pitts, CBS News, High Point, North Carolina.
And coming up next on the CBS Evening News, the youngest quarterback ever to win a Super Bowl is in a serious accident. An update on his condition next.
Want to know a secret? For some adults, today's lunch is A3. And this is what some grown-ups think it means to eat their vegetables. That's why there's Delicious and Sure, a source of complete balanced nutrition with protein, 24 vitamins and minerals, food energy. Have a delicious shake for lunch or as a pick-me-up anytime. So even if you don't always eat right, you can still eat smart. Drink and Sure, nutrition for a healthier you.
Breathe in, breathe out, restless, waiting for anything. So come on, come on, come on now. Let's go, let's jump right in, screaming to the wind, feed the fire within. I can't ignore this burning in my soul. Come on, baby, let's go.
There's a car company for people like that. Ford. Bold moves.
All of us have internal plumbing. But for some of us with frequent bladder urges, doing errands also means knowing where all the bathrooms are along the way. The worry your pipes might leak means you don't always detour from your route. But you can take another direction. Talk to your doctor about how to take care with Vesicare. Vesicare, once a day, can reduce urges and may help effectively manage bladder leakage, day and night. If you have certain types of stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems, do not take Vesicare. While taking Vesicare, if you experience a serious allergic reaction, severe abdominal pain, or become constipated for 3 or more days, tell your doctor right away. Common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, blurred vision, and indigestion. A chance to follow a whim, not always your urges. It's not just a pipe dream. Ask your doctor today if Vesicare is right for you.
The Toyota Sienna is the only minivan named a double best pick for crash safety.
Because sometimes the smartest thing Toyota can do isn't try to make your life better, but make sure it stays exactly as it is. Get the safety of Sienna with $750 customer cash. Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward.
Crisis in Sudan. Lara Logan gives you a first-hand look in our series Africa Journal Inside Sudan. Tomorrow, see why more people are watching the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
The Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl quarterback Ben Roethlisberger had brushed off warnings from his coach and others and kept riding his motorcycle without a helmet. Well, today it cost him. He's in a Pittsburgh hospital. His agent says he suffered a broken jaw and nose when his motorcycle collided with a car. Bob Orr has the latest on all of this.
In just 2 seasons, he went from a little-known gunslinger with a funny name,
Roethlisberger throws, touchdown,
to the toast of one of football's toughest towns. Just 4 months ago, at age 23, Ben Roethlisberger became the youngest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl, leading the Pittsburgh Steelers to victory over the Seattle Seahawks. But now, Big Ben's career may be in doubt. Today at a Pittsburgh intersection, just a few miles from the stadium where he stars, Roethlisberger was seriously injured when his motorcycle collided with a car.
I just saw his face, I saw blood. He looked conscious.
Another witness who didn't want to be identified said Roethlisberger was not wearing a helmet when he hit the windshield and then tumbled across the hood of the car.
I said, baby, what's your name? What's your name? He said, Ben.
Roethlisberger, with obvious head injuries, tried to stand up, then collapsed before being taken to a hospital for emergency surgery.
He's coherent, he's making sense, he knows what happened, he knows where he is.
Roethlisberger, known for his toughness, has been repeatedly warned about the dangers of riding a motorcycle, though it's unclear whether or not his contract prohibited that. After Cleveland Browns receiver Kellen Winslow lost a season to a cycle crash, Steelers Hall of Fame quarterback Terry Bradshaw lectured Roethlisberger.
Do you not care about your teammates and the organization and the fans? Those things are dangerous.
Roethlisberger's agent says the quarterback has a broken jaw and a broken nose. Other sources say he suffered multiple head lacerations and has bruised knees. The Steelers claim they're optimistic, but Big Ben's future in the NFL at the moment is uncertain. Bob?
Thank you very much, Bob. Coming up next, a final farewell to a member of our CBS News family.
Some things men don't want to talk about.
Like prostate problems. But I learned 1 in 3 men will have them. So I switched to One-A-Day Men's.
A complete multivitamin plus lycopene, which Harvard studies suggest may help prostate health.
Some things are healthy to talk about.
One-A-Day Men's. Right now at Red Lobster, create your own summer seafood feast. Choose 2 or 3 favorites like sweet snow crab or crunch fried shrimp. Or try new pan-seared sea scallops. Create your own feast for limited time only at Red Lobster.
Tell me what you see here.
Bacon! 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 Chewy, yummy, smoky bacon!
No, it's bacon strips, Brad. Dogs don't know it's not bacon.
It's bacon!
Huh?
Hi, sorry. Want a bite? No, thanks. It looks great, but I'm thinking... I'll take that. No, maybe that.
Don't just watch calories with Special K. Get whole grain total and watch nutrition too. 100 calories plus 100% of 12 vitamins and minerals. 100 calories, 100% nutrition.
Married, 2 kids. Don't bother.
Enjoy 100% delicious. Try 3 great flavors from Total.
What's wrong?
Upset about eye allergies? There's a Visine for that. Visine A provides powerful relief of itchy red allergy eyes. Clinical studies prove it. Eye allergies? There's a Visine for that.
Cholesterol. It can come from fettuccine Alfredo, but also from your Grandpa Alfredo, from barbecue ribs, and from your Aunt Barbie. A healthy diet is important. When that's not enough, adding Vytorin can help. Cholesterol comes from 2 sources, food and family. Vytorin treats 2 sources. Only Vytorin helps block the absorption of cholesterol from food and reduces the cholesterol your body makes naturally based on family history. Vytorin was also proven in clinical studies to lower bad cholesterol more than Lipitor alone. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Vytorin may interact with other medicines or certain foods, increasing your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. So eat right, stay active. But if that's not enough, ask your doctor about adding Vytorin. 2 sources of cholesterol. Treat them both with Vytorin.
Tomorrow, more Rob to the rescue.
Whoa, look at him jump!
And this time he's gone fishing.
Is he a fish? You want to hold him?
It's much more than a big fish story on The Early Show.
It was 2 weeks ago today, Memorial Day, that CBS News cameraman Paul Douglas and soundman James Brolin were killed, and correspondent Kimberly Dozier was critically wounded by a car bomb in Iraq. Today in Bedford, England, 500 of Paul's friends and family said goodbye. What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, the first song that he and his wife danced to, played as his casket was brought to a memorial service. It was the right song because to Paul it was a wonderful world. He always had a smile. CBS News producer Peter Bluff said it was impossible not to like him.
I think if those who killed him had met him, they would have been enthralled. They would have been admirers too.
Paul was a big man, said colleague Mark Phillips, but not because he was tall or even because of
the width of his smile. The biggest thing about Paul was his heart.
His daughter Joanne said it was that heart, that feeling for others, that made him such a fine photographer.
If they do not feel, their pictures will be flat and emotionless. They will fail to capture the essence of TV and raw human emotion. My dad never had that problem.
No, he never did. Paul was 48. He leaves 2 daughters, 3 grandchildren, his wife and mother. Services for soundman James Brolin will be held tomorrow. Correspondent Kimberly Dozier continues to be treated for her wounds at Bethesda Naval Hospital in Maryland. I'm Bob Schieffer. We'll see you tomorrow.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart. Walmart and Sam's Club pharmacies accept all Medicare prescription drug plans. And at the Walmart price, you get a great value for your prescription dollars.
We have a great team at CBS News. They're the ones who can tell us what we need to know because they've been there.
More people are watching the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
This is CBS.